Hello, bonjour, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of HomeCookin. Got the blessed one, blessed guy on this side, and on the other side of the call, we have the chef Alan. Alan, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Just trying to appreciate the nice day that we got.
Tell us what's on the menu for today.
Me and Bleska have been thinking about doing something different and something that maybe we should have gone into a little bit better at the beginning. And what we plan to talk about today is sort of like an introduction to, I guess, who we are per se, just to get a better idea of, obviously, like linking it back to the first episode. There is a tidbit about why we started this, but I think it's important that as we've gone through this journey that people know, I guess, a little bit more about it. So like listening to the voices behind the microphones or the video clips that we post. So yeah, we're just gonna dig in to who we are.
In terms of who we are, I guess a good place to start would be the beginning, I guess. So personally, I am 24 years old. I was born in Montreal, so I guess that's why you always get the hello bonjour, because we're Canadians and it's two official languages. And
Okay.
I moved to London, Ontario when I was 5 years old. My parents immigrated from the Democratic Republic of Congo, so I guess I like to dance because I guess music is one of the big things that Congo exports, other than gold, coltan, iron, copper, la di da di da. That's for an episode in the future. But yeah, so moved to London when I was young, and I guess I've called it home since. So I guess that's where the beginning is for me. How about you, Alan?
Yeah, well, similar to you, Bleska, I'm the same age, so 24, and yeah, my parents come from outside the country, from other places in the world, especially in Philippines, and my dad is from Iran, but he's Kurdish, and yeah, it's pretty, like, I was born in Toronto, but I never really grew up there. I moved when I was only a few. It was either between a few months to, I think it was a few months, to be honest. So kind of a London boy, but you see a lot of things as you come up. It's good to have that perspective, having a different culture than the culture that you were born in. And that's my quick origin on that point. Well, Bleska, turning it back to you.
Man, I didn't know you were born in Toronto.
Well, I was born in Scarborough. So.
Oh, six.
Oh, that's why we get all the Brampton views. That's why we all get the Brampton views for some reason. But,
I guess I'll start from where I left off in London. 5 years old, I went to all French school, so you can only speak French. You'd actually get in trouble if you spoke English at recess. So you got a little like slap on the wrist because of that. And I actually didn't start school until I was in grade 1, so I never did kindergarten. So that's one of the reasons why I'm terrible at tying my shoes. That's I've never.
What? Really, I didn't even know this.
Man, I never learned the bunny thing.
Like, you don't do 2 bunny ears. You
just do one. No, I just loop and then just like I don't know. I just learned the Bleska way. But yeah, went to French school and then stayed there till grade 6. And one other thing, I was from like grade 3 to grade 6. There were only like 4 guys in my class. 4 guys and like 16 girls. So I was surrounded by a lot of girls for a long time, other than when I would get the break from that and I started playing club basketball. So that's where I fell in love with the sport. It was like my first love. It really opened a lot of doors for me. So I guess that's like an intro to like the first from my childhood. So how about you? What are some of the aspects of your pre-adolescence years that shaped you, would you say?
Yeah. So Bleska, I like how we're doing this because I think I'm gonna flip it over to you after my part when we're talking about the next stage after our adolescence experience that made us the people that we are today.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, answering your question, yeah, no, I think I remember, coming up from, like I went to school in London. A lot of my friends and a lot of my good friends are the ones that I've known since the beginning. And to the listeners, like you had our one guest in Cassandra, she's someone that I knew from like the beginning of my schooling. Even a couple of other friends that we intend to have on are people I've known since I've gone into school. And I did a variety of different things. I did a lot of like minor sports, although my parents kind of sheltered me because of some health concerns growing up. But that's why, like, just not being able to play sports at a higher level or in competitive settings kind of made me interested when I was able to be old enough to see different sporting events, like sporting content online.
Mm-hmm.
It like opened my eyes to like, wow, this is so like this is entertaining, this is interesting, and I always had this feeling that I always wanted to be a part of it. Maybe I never had the athletic ability to ever reach that level, but just being able to track it, follow it was something that I always admired. And that's why a lot of my friends and Bleska, you can, you're an example in this, how you were playing sports at a higher level. And it's just like, you're an example that I look towards. And when I flip it back to you, when it comes to your next stage and tell me about that, it's just, yeah, like I always felt that, like I learned so many lessons just from observing other people, just because I never really had the chance to experience like certain things, like playing in a competitive program or traveling with a team. Like there's some experiences that when I was younger I didn't really get to experience. But yeah, sometimes I see it in the people around me, and it's maybe one of the reasons why, especially when we linked it to sports, why I was so like amazed by it and engulfed by the content, just the experience, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But adolescence experience, Bleska, the next step. What made you grow? Like, give me a highlight. Give me one thing that made you be the person you are today.
Well, I guess me, it was always about, like reaching goals, like from a early age. Like my idols were like Michael Jordan. I wanted to be 6'6". I wanted to palm the ball. I wanted to dunk from the free throw line. I wanted to fade away. I wanted to be the best. So that's always something that I've always strived to be. So I guess that's where like my overly competitiveness comes from. Like in grade 6, there's like this trophy that, well, at my first school, there's this trophy that you can win for athlete of the year. It's a pretty hefty trophy, not gonna lie. And you can win it in grade 4, grade 5, or grade 6, but they usually give it to graduating players. But like that trophy was like, that was like honestly, it was like the purpose of my existence. Like you're a kid, like the world is only so big, right? Like you're not thinking about what's going on in British Columbia. You're not thinking about the presidential election. I was thinking about becoming the best I can be so that I could lift that trophy at the end of my like career at the school. And like and then I kind of accomplished it. So that was like the first, like, I guess the first taste of glory for me, of being like, wow, like I want to like keep like, driving. So I guess that's one thing, I guess. It's not adolescence yet, but it pushed onto that. So like when I moved from like from the all French school to French immersion, that was like the end of the world for me, not gonna lie. It was like devastating because all my friends that I've ever like known, because I spent a lot of time on like traveling with my travel team, right? As you said, and
Yeah,
I made
for
like
sure.
friendships there, but like my parents didn't like kind of like sheltered me indoors a lot. Like they actually like, they bought me a lot of video games because they wanted to make sure that I ended up like not like with the wrong crew, I guess. So they did everything that they can to keep me busy, especially a kid that was like as hyperactive as I was. So yeah, so it was devastating moving from an all French school to an English class. I mean, French immersion. And then it's like, man, I know no one. Actually, I knew one person, and that was Matt Story, and he was on my basketball team. So he was like the segue into getting to St. John's. But that it was nerve wracking. You're going the whole summer, like, man, I'm going to a different school, and then wishful thinking, hoping that it might not be true. But that I remember that September morning when went into Mme Saint Laurent's class and just sat down, and I was like, wow, I guess this is where it starts.
It's my life. I always felt that you were at when we first met was when you came to St. John's, and I always felt as though like you were there much longer than you were, but that wasn't really the case. And just thinking about it now, like our journey through our friendship, from elementary school going through high school, and then I guess picking off in university. There's so many lessons that we can learn, and dude, you got to bring it back to who we are though. Like it's like, yeah, the voices behind HomeCookin. Can't believe we're doing this. There's so many reasons. I feel like if I'm taking it from just taking the stick from you per se, and talking about how we're doing a relay right now. We're going. I didn't even do relay. I didn't even do track and field. They never they put even the most unathletic people on those what is it? Those meets for track and field and stuff.
Yeah.
I never once got into it. Like I missed out on so much stuff. And I guess those type of experiences kind of weigh on you sometimes. And yeah, I know that for me, I guess growing up, a big thing, even after like elementary school and through high school and a little bit in university too, it's a little bit of that lack of it's not really initiative, but I didn't really take action, or I didn't really step out as much as I probably could. It's more of just me being observant and just making the most of the small world that I had around me. So HomeCookin is that it's our way. We gotta, it's time to step out and do the things that you really haven't done before, because there's no better time than today, as everyone would say, right? And yeah, you just have to learn from your experiences. Bluska, I know that you can mention your experiences from tell me your big experience in high school, your big forming experience in high school.